Well, in today's pet health, we've got grains on the brain. The pet food industry is full of choices for your dog. And for years, pet owners were told grain-free dog food was better than food with grains, and that's caused those food products to explode in popularity. In fact, the options for grain-free pet food represents more than 40% of dry dog foods in the U.S., according to the National Institutes of Health. But more recently, we've been told grain-free pet food can be harmful to our dogs. So let's clear up all the confusion and ask the expert, Brett the vet with Arizona Animal Hospital. All right, let's start from the beginning. Explain what exactly does grain-free dog food mean?
Grain and grain-free. Grain would include corn, wheat, soy. Grain-free would be something like sweet potatoes.
Okay, so in light of that, the bottom line is, can it be harmful to our pets?
It's really funny because we've kind of come full circle over the last 2 decades. If you ask me, it's all marketing.
Okay.
So 20 years ago, grain-free became, frankly, a marketing strategy to compete against the big guys. So these smaller pet food companies, which are good companies, could grow market share.
Okay.
And we've all kind of looked at grain-free and perceived it as healthy, but frankly, if you ask a lot of experts, corn has got the same nutritional value as a sweet potato. So it really is kind of coming back full circle now to the grains versus grain-free, as you said.
So then what exactly should we be looking for when it comes to pet food?
Well, the other thing about grain-free, remember we had that big debacle in 2018, before I answer that question, where we saw these dogs with heart disease. So kind of the situation there was the grain-free product was substituting plant-based protein they were substituting meat with plant-based protein.
Oh.
Meat, dogs and cats we know are true obligate carnivores. If you don't have enough meat in your diet, they will develop heart disease, dogs and cats. So some of these grain-free diets, dogs were doing just that, developing heart disease. So we've since recognized that we need to improve those formulas, those grain-free formulas, by adding more meat or substituting with taurine. So grain-free's gotten a little heat recently.
So should we just avoid it then?
No, I think since they learned their lessons, I think a lot of people have adjusted their formulas to ensure that dilated cardiomyopathy, the disease that we see in dogs and cats who don't get enough meat, is largely eliminated with these dog food brands.
Okay, so it's now, I mean, we can feel safe then if we chose to buy the grain-free.
I would say so, but there are some breeds, y'all out there know them, golden retrievers, et cetera, that might want to just avoid it until the verdict is official. But to me, the problem has largely been solved by adding more meat and more taurine to those diets.
Okay, so let's just play it safe and go with just the regular typical grain, you think?
I think so.
Okay, all right. Let's talk about the other choices because there are so many. We're talking fresh food, there's frozen, there's raw, kibble, cooked, cans, all of the above. You know, how do we know what's best for our dog?
How do we choose?
Yeah.
You know, it boils down to what the dog likes, in my opinion. A lot of times dogs will turn up their nose to certain foods or it doesn't agree with their tummy. So you want to find something that works with them, that they like. Raw food is a popular trend. I don't recommend raw food around families with children because
of the salmonella.
Yeah, foodborne listeria, the things we see in the news, foodborne illnesses are not that common, but they do exist, and when they do, they're devastating. So, I personally like to feed Josie kibble because it's convenient. We have a busy household. I find a good quality kibble that I can trust, and she's done really well with that. But ultimately, it's really what you, the consumer, feel good about. But I would say it is all marketing. 75% marketing, 25% quality of ingredients. So find something that works for your budget, that your dog likes, and that you feel good about.
All right.